I always thought my sister's wedding would break my heart, but not like this, not in a way that would shatter everything I believed about family, love, and trust in a single afternoon. My name is Olive, and I watched my fiancé marry my sister on a sunny Saturday in June. The worst part, I wasn't even supposed to be there. I stood frozen behind a marble pillar in St. Michael's Church, my hands trembling as I gripped my phone. The text from my best friend that had brought me here still glowed on the screen. "Something's wrong. Summer's getting married today. You need to see this." The wedding march began to play, and my sister floated down the aisle in a dress that looked eerily similar to the one I'd chosen for my own wedding. The wedding that was supposed to happen next month. My father, Robert, beamed as he walked her down the aisle, his face radiating a pride I'd never seen directed at me. And there at the altar stood Cole, my Cole, looking nervous but determined in his tailored suit. "Dearly beloved," the priest began, his voice echoing through the chapel. I felt bile rising in my throat. A hand touched my shoulder, making me jump. "You shouldn't be here," Andrea, Cole's mother, whispered. Her face was tight with concern. Or was it guilt? "Why is this happening?" I hissed back. "Where's Mom?" "Your mother thinks she's at a charity event." Robert told everyone different stories. Andrea's eyes darted around nervously. "He's been planning this for months." My legs nearly gave out. Months? While Cole and I were planning our future, picking out china patterns, and arguing over wedding venues, my own father was orchestrating this betrayal. "If you're here to object," Andrea continued, "don't. Robert has everything legally arranged. The marriage license, the documentation, it's all legitimate." I watched as Summer said, "I do," her voice carrying clearly through the church. Cole's response was quieter, almost hesitant. "Did he think about me at all?" "How?" I managed to choke out. "Robert convinced Cole it was the only way to save his company. He threatened to destroy everything Cole's family built." Andrea's voice cracked. "I tried to warn you, but Robert intercepted all communication." The priest pronounced them husband and wife. The small gathering of guests, none of whom I recognized, applauded politely. My sister beamed, radiant in her stolen happiness, while my father looked on like a proud architect of destruction. I stepped out from behind the pillar, making my presence known. Summer saw me first, her face draining of color. Then Cole, his eyes widening with a mixture of shame and shock. Finally my father turned, and for a brief moment his mask slipped. Fear flickered across his features before being replaced by his usual controlled expression. "Olive," he said smoothly, stepping toward me, "you weren't supposed to be here." "Clearly," I replied, my voice steady despite the hurricane raging inside me. "You went to quite some trouble to make sure of that." Summer reached for Cole's hand, her fingers intertwining with his possessively. "Olive, I can explain." "Can you?" I cut her off. "Can you explain why my sister and my fiancé are getting married in secret? Can you explain why our mother isn't here? Can you explain why our father orchestrated this entire charade?" The guests began to whisper, heads turning between us like spectators at a tennis match. "This isn't the place," my father said firmly, gripping my arm. I yanked away from him. "When is the place, Dad? When you've finished destroying everything I care about?" Cole finally spoke, his voice hoarse. "Olive, please, don't." I held up my hand. "Don't you dare speak to me." I turned to leave, but not before looking each of them in the eye. My sister, who had always been Dad's perfect daughter. Cole, who had chosen financial security over our love. And my father, the puppet master who had orchestrated it all. "Congratulations," I said, my voice dripping with venom. "I hope you're all very happy with the choices you've made today." As I walked out of the church, Andrea called after me. "What are you going to do?" I paused at the heavy wooden doors, a plan already forming in my mind. I was a writer, after all, and I had one hell of a story to tell. "I'm going to make sure everyone knows exactly what happened here today," I replied, not turning around. "Every single detail." The doors closed behind me with a satisfying thud, and I stepped into the sunlight. My life as I knew it was over, but something else was beginning. Something that would make them all wish they'd never betrayed me. They wanted a wedding. I'd give them a reception they'd never forget. 3 days after the wedding, I sat in my apartment, staring at an unmarked envelope that had been slipped under my door. Inside was a USB drive and a handwritten note. "You deserve to know everything. Watch these files." My hands shook as I plugged it into my laptop. The first video was security footage from my father's office, dated 2 months ago. I pressed play. "Cole, think about what you're throwing away." My father's voice filled my speakers. "Your family's company is on the verge of collapse. I can save it, but I need something in return." Cole paced the office, running his hands through his hair. "This is insane, Robert. I love Olive. Love won't save your mother from bankruptcy." My father leaned back in his chair, perfectly calm. "Summer is the better match for the company's future. She understands business, unlike Olive, with her creative pursuits. Olive will never forgive me. She'll never know. We'll tell her you left her for someone else. Clean break." I slammed the laptop shut, bile rising in my throat. My phone buzzed, Mom calling for the 10th time today. I let it go to voicemail. The doorbell rang. I opened it to find Hassan, my editor, holding 2 cups of coffee. "You look like hell," he said, pushing past me into the apartment. "Thanks. Always good to hear from my biggest fan." I accepted the coffee, grateful for the caffeine. Hassan settled onto my couch. "Want to tell me why you've missed 3 deadlines and aren't answering my calls?" "My sister married my fiancé in a secret ceremony, orchestrated by my father to save Cole's family business," I said flatly. "I found out by showing up uninvited." Hassan choked on his coffee. "Holy shit. Yeah, that's actually better than the plot of your current manuscript." I looked at him sharply. An idea started forming. "Hassan, what if I wrote it? All of it. The manipulation, the lies, the secret wedding. Changed the names, but kept every ugly detail." He set down his coffee. "You mean expose them? Through fiction? They couldn't sue me for libel if it's marketed as a novel. Your father would know it was about him. That's the point." My phone buzzed again. This time it was Summer. "Please talk to me. I can explain everything." I texted back, "Nothing to explain. Hope the honeymoon was nice." Hassan watched me carefully. "This could destroy your relationship with your family." "They destroyed it first." I opened my laptop again. "Look at this." I played him the video. His expression darkened as he watched. "There's more," I said, opening another file. This one showed Summer in my father's office. "But what about Olive?" Summer asked in the footage. "She's my sister." "Your sister will be fine," my father replied. "She's always been resilient. This merger could secure our family's future for generations. Sometimes sacrifices must be made." Summer nodded slowly. "And Cole agrees. He'll come around. He knows what's at stake." Hassan whistled low. "Your father's a piece of work. My whole family is." I closed the laptop again. "So, will you help me write this? It's risky. Personal vendettas don't always make the best literature. This isn't just revenge. It's the truth. People should know what men like my father are capable of." A knock at the door interrupted us. Through the peephole, I saw Andrea standing there, looking nervous. "I brought more evidence," she said when I opened the door. "Bank statements, emails, everything showing how Robert threatened us." "Why are you helping me?" I asked. "Because what they did to you was wrong. And because my son is too weak to stand up to your father himself." She handed me another USB drive. "Use it well." After she left, Hassan picked up the drive. "Still think this is too personal?" I opened my laptop and created a new document. The cursor blinked expectantly. Working title, "The Perfect Daughter," I said, fingers hovering over the keyboard. "A story about family, betrayal, and the price of ambition." Hassan nodded approvingly. "Now that's a book I want to read." My phone buzzed one more time. A text from Cole. "Can we talk, please?" I deleted it without responding and began to type. The words flowed easily. fueled by anger and hurt, but also by something else. The satisfaction of knowing that soon, everyone would know exactly what kind of people they really were. Chapter 1, I read aloud as I typed. I always thought my sister's wedding would break my heart, but not like this. Hassan raised his coffee cup in a toast. To the truth? I nodded, a grim smile forming. To the truth, and to making sure everyone hears it. 2 weeks into writing my exposé, I discovered just how deep my father's deception ran. I sat in my car, outside his office building, watching through binoculars, as Cole entered for their weekly meeting. My sister arrived 10 minutes later, perfectly coiffed in her designer suit. My phone buzzed. "Are you sure about this?" Hassan texted. "I need to know everything," I replied, then slipped on my visitor's badge, courtesy of Andrea's connections, and walked into the building. The maintenance corridor behind my father's office had terrible ventilation, but perfect acoustics. I pressed record on my phone and listened. "The merger's going smoothly," my father was saying. "The board's impressed with how quickly you two have solidified the partnership." "And Olive?" Summer's voice. "Mom's worried sick. She's not answering anyone's calls. Your sister will move on. She's always been dramatic about these things." "Dramatic?" Cole's voice cracked. "We destroyed her, Robert. And for what? Stock prices? For survival," my father snapped. "Your family's company was hemorrhaging money. This merger saved everything. Or would you rather explain to your mother why she's bankrupt?" Footsteps approached the door. I pressed myself against the wall, heart pounding. "I need air," Cole said. The door opened and closed. I waited a few minutes before following, finding him in the building's courtyard, smoking, a habit he'd supposedly quit years ago. "Those will kill you," I said, stepping into view. He dropped the cigarette like it burned him. "Olive, what are you?" "Gathering material for my book." I held up my phone. "You all make excellent characters." "Book? What book?" "Oh, you'll find out soon enough." I smiled coldly. "How's married life treating you?" He looked awful up close, dark circles under his eyes, shirt slightly rumpled. "Good. I never wanted this," he whispered. "Your father. Save it." I heard everything upstairs. I played the recording. His face paled. "He'll destroy you if you publish this." "Let him try. I'm not the scared little girl he thinks I am anymore." Cole reached for my hand. I stepped back. "Don't," I warned. "You lost the right to touch me when you said I do to my sister. I did it to save my family. And I'm doing this to save myself." Back home, Hassan was waiting with takeout and red wine. "Got what you needed?" he asked as I played him the recording. "More than enough. But there's something else." I pulled out my laptop. "Look what I found in the files Andrea gave me." The spreadsheet showed years of suspicious transactions between my father's company and offshore accounts. "This isn't just about the wedding anymore," I said. "He's been running a scheme for years. The merger with Cole's company was just his latest move." Hassan whistled. "This is bigger than we thought. You sure you want to include all this?" "Truth is truth. Let the chips fall where they may." My phone rang. Summer again. This time, I answered. "Finally," she breathed. "Olive, please let me explain." "I'm writing a book," I cut her off, "about a controlling father who forces his daughter's fiancé to marry her sister instead." "Interesting premise, don't you think?" Silence. "You can't," she finally whispered. Dad will what? Arrange another secret wedding? Destroy another relationship?" He was trying to help everyone. He was helping himself. "And you helped him do it." My voice cracked. "My own sister. I never meant to hurt you." Funny how people keep saying that while doing exactly what will hurt me most. I hung up and turned to Hassan. "We need to finish this book fast, before they can stop us." He nodded, already typing. "I'll call my contacts at major publishers. This story's too big for small press." My laptop pinged with an email from Andrea. "More documents found. Meeting tomorrow." "The truth keeps getting uglier," I muttered. "You can still back out," Hassan offered. "Write something else." I thought about my father's dismissive tone upstairs. about Summer's weak excuses, about Cole's pathetic attempts at justification. No, I said, opening my manuscript. They chose their path. Now I'm choosing mine. Hassan raised his wine glass. To burning bridges, I clinked my glass against his. To building new ones from the ashes. We worked through the night, weaving together the threads of betrayal into something that would shake my family's carefully constructed world to its core. Let them try to stop me. I had the truth on my side now, and I wasn't afraid to use it. The manuscript was nearly finished when I ran into Andrea at the local coffee shop. She wasn't alone. My mother sat across from her, both women hunched over steaming mugs. Olive, Mom jumped up, nearly knocking over her chair. Baby, where have you been? I froze. Coffee order forgotten. Mom, she knows. Andrea interrupted quietly. I told her everything. Mom's face was pale, lined with new wrinkles I didn't remember. Is it true? About your father? The wedding? I guided her back to her seat, sliding in beside her. Every word. I've been such a fool, she whispered. All these years, I thought he was just ambitious. Andrea pushed a folder across the table. There's more. Robert's been embezzling money from both companies. The merger wasn't just about saving Cole's family business. It was about covering his tracks. My hands shook as I opened the folder. Bank statements, transfer records, emails discussing offshore accounts. Does Summer know? I asked. Your sister's starting to ask questions, Mom said. She came by yesterday, crying about Cole being distant, about your father's strange behavior. Good. I pulled out my laptop. Because this is going into the book, too. Mom's eyes widened. Book? Olive's writing an expose, Andrea explained. Disguised as fiction, but every word is true. Your father will be furious. Let him be. I'm done protecting his reputation. The cafe door chimed. Summer walked in, stopped dead when she saw us. Mom? Her voice trembled. What are you doing here? Learning the truth, Mom replied coldly. Sit down. Summer sank into a chair, looking between us. I can explain. Save it. I cut her off. We have the proof. All of it. The embezzlement, the threats, everything. Dad said it was just business strategy. Dad's been lying to everyone, Andrea interjected, including you and Cole. Summer's face crumpled. Cole won't even look at me anymore. He sleeps in the guest room. Karma's funny that way, I said. But my heart wasn't in the jab. She looked broken. Just another victim of our father's manipulation. I'm so sorry, Olive, she whispered. I thought I was helping everyone. By stealing my fiancé? By doing what Dad said was right. She wiped her eyes. He always knew best, didn't he? He always had a plan. Mom reached across the table, gripping both our hands. Not anymore. This stops now. My phone buzzed. Hassan calling. The publishers are fighting over it, he said when I answered. They want a fast-track publication. How soon can you finish? Give me 2 days, I replied, watching Summer's face as realization dawned. You're really going to publish everything? She asked after I hung up. Everything. The wedding, the fraud, all of it. It'll destroy him. He destroyed us first. Andrea cleared her throat. Cole wants to come clean too. He's gathered evidence of his own. My heart clenched. I don't want to see him. You don't have to. He can send it through me. Mom squared her shoulders. I want to help too. I've kept quiet too long. Mom, you don't have to. Yes, I do. I enabled him, Olive. I looked the other way while he hurt my daughters. Summer stood suddenly. I should go. Dad's expecting me at the office. Summer, I called as she turned away. It's not too late to choose a different side. She paused, shoulders tight. Send me a copy of the manuscript when it's done. I want to read it first. After she left, Mom pulled me close. My brave girl, I'm so sorry I didn't protect you. You're protecting me now, I whispered back. Andrea gathered her things. I'll get Cole's documents to you tonight. And Olive, be careful. Robert's starting to suspect something's coming. I nodded, opening my laptop. The manuscript glowed on the screen, nearly complete. Just a few more chapters to go. What are you going to call it? Mom asked, peering at the screen. The Perfect Daughter, I replied. But it's not about who you'd think. She squeezed my hand. No, it's about the daughter who was strong enough to tell the truth. I began to type, my mother's presence steady beside me. The words flowed easier now, fueled not just by anger, but by something stronger. The power of finally being heard, of reclaiming my story from those who tried to write it for me. Let my father suspect, let him worry. The truth was coming, and this time, no amount of manipulation could stop it. The advance copies of The Perfect Daughter arrived on a Tuesday. Hassan brought them to my apartment, along with a bottle of champagne and news that made my hands shake. They're printing 100,000 copies for the first run, he said, popping the cork. Early reviews are calling it a searing indictment of family politics and corporate greed. I ran my fingers over the glossy cover. Have they figured out it's real? Some online speculation, but nothing concrete. He handed me a glass. Your father's going to know the moment he reads the first chapter. That's the plan. My phone buzzed. Summer. Can I come over, please? I showed Hassan the text. He raised an eyebrow. Careful. I want her to see it first, I replied. Then texted back, doors open. Summer arrived 20 minutes later, looking exhausted. Her designer clothes couldn't hide the dark circles under her eyes, or how thin she'd become. Is that it? She asked, staring at the book on my coffee table. I handed her a copy. She opened it to the dedication page, for those who mistake control for love. Mom left him, she blurted out. Yesterday, she's staying with Andrea. The champagne suddenly tasted bitter. How's Dad taking it? I've never seen him like this. He knows something's coming. He keeps asking about you, about what you're working on. Now you know how it feels to be watched, questioned, controlled. She flinched. I deserve that. Yes, you do. I took the book from her hands. But you deserve to know the truth too. All of it, including what he's been doing with the company money. Her face paled. What do you mean? I pulled out Andrea's files, spread them across the coffee table. See for yourself. Hassan quietly excused himself as Summer read, her hands trembling more with each document. This can't be right, she whispered. The accounts, the transfers, all illegal. All hidden under the merger paperwork you and Cole signed. She looked up sharply. We're implicated in this. Technically, yes, but Andrea's lawyers say you and Cole can claim ignorance if you cooperate. Cole, she twisted her wedding ring. He moved out last week, said he couldn't keep pretending. Smart man, finally. When does the book come out? 2 weeks. I poured her some champagne. Dad gets his copy tomorrow. Her hand shook as she took the glass. He'll try to stop it. Let him try. Everything's verified, documented, and legally cleared for publication. I want to help, she said suddenly. Tell my side. Prove that I can make this right. Why should I trust you? Because I'm choosing my sister over our father. Finally, my phone rang. Andrea. Robert just left his office looking furious, she said without preamble. Someone leaked him the book cover. Summer's eyes met mine. He's probably heading to his lawyers. Let him, I said into the phone. Everything in the book is true. After hanging up, I handed Summer a pen and paper. Start writing. Everything you know, everything you did. Show me you mean it. She wrote for hours. Every scheme, every manipulation, every lie our father had spun. When she finished, her mascara was streaked with tears. I never wanted to hurt you, she whispered. I just wanted Dad to look at me the way he looked at you. What do you mean? You were always stronger than me, Olive. You stood up to him. I just gave in. It was easier. And now I want to be strong too. She stood, straightening her shoulders. Use my statement. Put it in the book. I'll sign whatever you need. Hassan returned as Summer was leaving. Think she means it? Yes, I said, surprising myself. I think she finally does. My phone lit up with a text from Cole. Your father knows. Be careful. Then another from Mom. I'm proud of you, baby. Stay safe. And finally one from my father. We need to talk. Now. I showed Hassan the messages. He immediately started making calls. I'm getting you security. Your father's not known for taking humiliation well. I picked up my advance copy, running my fingers over the embossed title. No backing down now. You sure about this? I thought of Summer's tears, Mom's quiet strength, Andrea's determination, even Cole's belated attempt at redemption. More sure than ever, I replied. It's time everyone knew exactly who Robert really is. The sun was setting outside my window, casting long shadows across the room. In 2 weeks, everything would change. The truth would finally see daylight. And I was ready for whatever storm it brought. My father's lawyer arrived at my apartment the next morning with a cease and desist letter. I was expecting him, and so was my own legal team. This book is libelous, he declared, dropping the advance copy on my coffee table. Mr. Morrison demands you halt publication immediately. My lawyer, Sarah, smiled coldly. Every word is documented and verified. Would your client like us to provide the evidence in court? These allegations could ruin him. His actions could land him in prison, I countered. The book is the least of his worries. The lawyer's phone buzzed. He paled reading the message. Excuse me. As soon as he left, Sarah turned to me. The SEC just opened an investigation into your father's companies. Someone sent them an anonymous tip. Summer, I breathed. She'd actually done it. My phone lit up with her text. Done. No turning back now. The lawyer returned, sweating. Perhaps we could discuss terms. No terms, I said firmly. The book comes out as written. He left with his cease and desist letter unopened. Minutes later, my father called. What do you want? He demanded. Money? A public apology? Name it. I want nothing from you except the truth. The truth? He laughed bitterly. The truth is, I protected this family. Everything I did was for us. No, everything you did was for you. And now everyone will know it. I'll destroy you. You already tried. How'd that work out? The line went dead. Moments later, Hassan burst in. Your book just got leaked online, he announced. Pre-orders are exploding. My phone started buzzing with notifications. Twitter was ablaze with excerpts, particularly the wedding scene. The perfect daughter was trending. Your father, Sarah asked. I shook my head. He'd never leak it himself. This is me, said a voice from the doorway. Cole stood there looking uncomfortable. I leaked it. Hassan moved protectively closer to me. Why? Because Robert can't stop what everyone already knows. Cole stepped inside, keeping his distance. The SEC is investigating both companies. Your father's trying to destroy evidence. How do you know? Because he asked me to help him. Cole pulled out his phone, played a recording. My father's voice filled the room, frantically ordering Cole to shred documents. Sarah was already dialing. The SEC needs to hear this. Why are you really here, Cole? I asked after she stepped out. To apologize and to warn you, Robert's desperate. He's calling in favors, trying to discredit you before the book officially launches. Let him try, Hassan said. The internet's already running with the story. My phone buzzed again. Summer sending screenshots of social media reactions. People were sharing their own stories of family betrayal, corporate corruption, toxic fathers. It's bigger than just us now, I realized. Cole nodded. That's why I leaked it. Some truths need to be heard. Does my sister know you're here? Summer's the one who suggested it. She's trying to make things right. A commotion in the hallway interrupted us. Andrea rushed in, breathless. Robert's called an emergency board meeting, she announced. He's trying to vote Cole out of the company. Cole laughed humorlessly. Too late. I resigned this morning. Turned over everything to the SEC. My phone rang. Mom. Your father's being escorted out of the office, she said when I answered. The police are involved now. I put her on speaker, just as Summer texted. Dad's being arrested. Securities fraud. It's all coming out. Hassan pulled up a news site on his laptop. The story was breaking across all major outlets. Prominent businessman arrested for fraud. Scandal exposed by daughter's upcoming book. You did it, Cole said quietly. You actually did it. We did it, I corrected, thinking of everyone who'd helped. Summer's confession, Cole's evidence, Mom's courage, Andrea's documents. My phone kept buzzing with messages. Reporters wanting comments, publishers reporting pre-order numbers, readers sharing support. What happens now? Hassan asked. Now, I said, watching the news footage of my father being led away in handcuffs. We let the truth do its work. Cole moved toward the door. I should go. But Olive, I really am sorry. For everything. After he left, Hassan poured drinks. To justice. To consequences, I corrected. And to finding strength in unexpected places. Andrea raised her glass. To the perfect daughter, the one who told the truth. Outside, reporters were gathering. The story was exploding. My father's carefully built empire was crumbling, but something else was rising from its ruins. Something honest, something real. The truth had finally broken free, and there was no putting it back in its cage. The day The Perfect Daughter officially launched, I sat in Hassan's office, watching the morning shows dissect my family's scandal. My father's arrest had made national news, and my book was already hitting bestseller lists. Good Morning America wants an interview, Hassan said, hanging up his phone. So does every other major network. What about Summer? I asked. Have you heard from her? She's going on record with the SEC today. Your father's lawyers are scrambling. My phone lit up. Mom calling. Have you seen the news? She asked without preamble. Which part? Your father's posting bail, and he's asking to see you. My stomach clenched. No. He's at the house. Says he won't leave until you come. Hassan saw my face. What's wrong? Dad's making demands. I stood grabbing my coat. Time to end this. Not alone. Hassan insisted, following me out. The house I grew up in looked smaller somehow, less imposing. My father sat in his study, his perfectly pressed suit at odds with his haggard face. Finally, he said when I walked in, we need to discuss damage control. There is no damage control, I replied, staying in the doorway. Hassan's solid presence behind me gave me strength. The truth is out. The truth. He laughed bitterly. You have no idea what truth is. I built everything we have. Through fraud and manipulation. Through necessity. He slammed his hand on the desk. I did what had to be done, for this family. You did it for yourself, and now you've lost everything anyway. Not everything. He pulled out a document. Sign this retraction. Say the book is fiction, that you made it all up for publicity. I can still fix this. No, Dad, you can't fix this. Summer appeared in the doorway, pale, but determined. The SEC has everything, Dad. I gave them all of it. His face contorted. You too? My own daughters, destroying everything I built. You destroyed it yourself, Mom said, entering behind Summer. When you chose power over family. Margaret, don't be dramatic. The divorce papers are filed, Mom cut him off. I'm done pretending. He stood, desperation replacing anger. Olive, please, you're my daughter. Yes, I am. And that's why I had to tell the truth. His phone buzzed. His lawyer, probably with more bad news. While he was distracted, Summer moved closer to me. The board voted, she whispered. They're dissolving the merger, separating the companies. Cole's family? Protected. They're cooperating with investigators. Dad ended his call, face ashen. They're freezing the accounts, all of them, including the offshore ones? I asked innocently. His head snapped up. How did you? Andrea kept better records than you thought. He sank into his chair, suddenly looking old. Everything I did, I thought I was protecting you girls. No, Mom said firmly. You were protecting your ego. My phone buzzed. Hassan, showing me the latest news alert. The book had just hit #1 on every major bestseller list. It's over, Dad, I said quietly. The truth won. Truth, he scoffed. Truth is what people choose to believe. Not this time. I placed a copy of my book on his desk. This time, truth is what actually happened. Summer touched my arm. We should go. The SEC investigators are waiting. As we turned to leave, Dad called out, "What am I supposed to do now?" "Face the consequences," Mom answered, like the rest of us had to. Outside, reporters had gathered. Hassan guided us through the crowd to waiting cars. "Ready?" he asked as cameras flashed. I looked at Summer, who nodded. Mom squeezed my hand. "Yes," I said. "Time to tell our story. All of it." The next hours passed in a blur of interviews. Summer and I sat side by side, answering questions about the scandal, the book, our father's arrest. Mom joined for some segments, her quiet dignity speaking volumes. "Do you regret exposing your family?" one reporter asked. "I regret that it was necessary," I replied. "But truth shouldn't be a family secret." Later, at the SEC offices, Summer and I gave our official statements. As we left, she turned to me. "I know I can never fully make it right," she said. "The wedding, Cole, everything. But I'm trying." I know. And surprisingly, I did. My phone lit up with another text from Hassan. "Your story just got optioned for a movie." I showed Summer, and for the first time in months, we both laughed. "Think they'll get the wedding scene right?" she asked. "They can't possibly make it more dramatic than it really was." Outside, the sun was setting on the day that had changed everything. The truth was out, the consequences were unfolding, and somehow, amid all the wreckage, something new was beginning to grow. Something honest, something real, something ours. The courthouse steps were crowded with reporters. As my father was led out in handcuffs, Summer stood beside me, gripping my hand as the verdict was read. "Guilty on all counts of securities, fraud and embezzlement. 10 years, she whispered. "It doesn't feel real." Hassan appeared with coffee. "Your father's lawyers are already talking appeals." "Let them," I said, watching the police car drive away. The truth already won. My phone buzzed. A text from Cole. "It's done. The companies are officially separated. Mom wanted you to know first." I showed Summer the message. She smiled sadly. "Andrea's running things better than Dad ever did." Speaking of running things, Hassan interrupted. "Your publisher's waiting, ready to discuss the second book." I nodded. The success of The Perfect Daughter had opened doors I never expected. But this next project was different, more important. "What's it about?" Summer asked as we walked to the car. "People like Dad, corporate corruption, family manipulation, hidden crimes. Other victims are coming forward with their stories. You're giving them a voice," she realized. "Someone has to." At the publishing house, Mom was waiting with Andrea. They'd become unlikely friends through all this, building something new from the ashes of their broken marriages. "The support group's growing," Mom said, hugging me. She'd started counseling families affected by corporate fraud, turning her pain into purpose. "How many now?" 30 families, all with stories like ours. Andrea nodded. "The legal team's helping them build cases. Your book gave them courage to come forward." My phone lit up with another message. From the prison. "Dad, again." I deleted it without reading. "Still trying to explain himself?" Summer asked. "Some things don't need explanation." Hassan cleared his throat. "The documentary crew's here, ready to tell the whole story." I looked at my family, not the one Dad tried to control, but the one we'd built from truth. Mom, strong and purposeful. Summer, finding her own voice. Andrea, turning corporate power into positive change. "Yes," I said. "Let's tell it right." The interview room was bright, cameras ready. The interviewer smiled warmly. "Ms. Morrison, your book exposed more than just your family's scandal. It sparked a movement. How does that feel?" I thought about all the letters I'd received, the stories shared, the lives changed. "It feels like purpose," I replied, "like turning pain into power." "And your sister, how has your relationship evolved?" Summer joined me on camera. "We're healing," she said simply. "Truth has a way of clearing the air." "And the wedding, any regrets?" "Every day," Summer admitted. "But also gratitude. Sometimes it takes losing everything to find what matters." After the interview, Hassan showed us the latest sales figures. The perfect daughter had sparked a national conversation about corporate corruption and family loyalty. Your father's case is becoming a landmark, he said. Other companies are being investigated, more families coming forward. Good, I said firmly. Let all the truth come out. Andrea touched my arm. Cole asked about you. Tell him I'm good, really good. And I was. The betrayal that once threatened to break me had instead made me stronger, given me purpose. My phone buzzed, a message from a reader. Your book gave me courage to expose my own family's secrets. Thank you. That's what it's all about, Mom said, reading over my shoulder, helping others find their voice. Summer linked her arm through mine as we left the building. Remember when we were little, how you always wanted to write stories that mattered? Look at us now, I smiled, writing our own ending. Outside, the sun was bright. Reporters still lingered, but they didn't matter anymore. The story that needed telling had been told. The truth that needed freeing was free. Hassan held up his phone. Your next book tour starts next week. Ready to change more lives? I looked at my family, the real one, the true one. At Summer, who'd chosen truth over pretense. At Mom, who'd found strength in starting over. At Andrea, who'd helped expose the lies. Ready, I said. There are more stories waiting to be told. More truths waiting to be freed. Summer added. We walked together into the sunlight, leaving the shadows of lies behind. The perfect daughter wasn't the one who kept secrets. She was the one brave enough to tell them. And that truth, finally, was the most perfect ending of all.